Shalom, call all y'all about Shalom. Shalom, Taylor. This video right here is just a quick little hit video. Not too long. I'm gonna let this video play and I'm gonna just put one preset.
And its spread on China. A recent survey from the Associated Press found that the majority of Americans say they blame the U.S. government for the current crisis that has impacted millions across the country. And that sentiment is coming from both sides of the aisle. So joining me now is Rick Sanchez, host of the News with Rick Sanchez. Now, Rick, what does this survey tell us about how Americans actually feel about their government right now?
It tells us what I think a lot of us have already figured out. And it's pretty simple. Comparatively speaking, this COVID crisis has not been our finest hour. And that's important because, you know, we want to be nationalists, right? We want to believe in our country. We, like anybody in the world, they want to love their country. They want to say we're number one, but it's hard to say number one. Let's compare this to a football game, and you go to your high school or college game, and it's the fourth quarter, and you're getting beat by 40 points. It's hard to scream, we're number one, when that is going on. And I think, to a certain extent, that's a good comparison of what is going on right now. Let's look at the numbers, first of all. Here's this poll that was conducted, legitimate poll conducted by the University of Chicago, by the way. I've gone through and looked at much of what their numbers were to come up with these conclusions. They're essentially asking the American people, who do you blame for the COVID-19 crisis in America? And 56% say it's the U.S. government. So listen, these are Americans saying it's our government. We did this, right? You're holding a mirror to yourself. That's significant. 47% other governments, and 39% the World Health Organizations. Now, let's break it down between Democrats and Republicans, and this gets even more interesting. Okay, Democrats are 80%, or roughly 80%, they're at 79. Well, that's what you would expect, right? Because usually when you ask whoever is not in office and you are the opposing party, you're going to be critical. So Democrats, of course, since the Republicans are in the White House and in Congress, are going to argue, and in the Senate, I should say, are going to argue, oh, yeah, see, the government's messing things up. But look at the number with the Republicans. Usually that number would be somewhere around 20%, but we're seeing a number with Republicans at 38%. Almost 40% of Republicans are saying, yeah, our government has not done a very good job.
See, and Esau ain't good with math either. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm just thinking about this a little early. I just got in myself, but my mind's still sharp right now. Esau not very good with math. Now, what the hell are they going up to on a percentage rate? Because last time I checked, normally when you do a percentage table, they go up to 100% from 0 up to 100%. Now, what the hell? This shit don't add up. Well, they, even though the majority of the Democrats do blame the U.S. government, and then they got the Republicans, all this don't add up to 100%. It's actually more than 100%. But that's Esau for you, though.
With this. And that's significant. It's important. And I think it goes back to just Americans literally coming to grips with the fact, and I said it at the beginning and I'll say it again, this has not been our finest hour, Rachel. What?
Hey, it's just going to get even worse. I'm just read this scripture right here. I'm making this video off. Like I said, I ain't want to make this long. It's in the book of Matthew. It's in the book of Luke, chapter 11. I'm going to start at. Let's see what I'm going to start at. I'm sorry, verse 17, it says, but he, knowing their thoughts, said unto him, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and a house divided against a house falleth. If Satan also be divided against against himself, how shall his kingdom stand? Because ye say that I cast out devils through Beelzebub, and if I Beelzebub cast out devils, by whom do your sons cast them out? Therefore shall they be your judges. But if I with the finger of Yahweh cast out devils, no doubt the kingdom of Yahweh is come upon you. When a strong man armed keepeth his palace, his goods are in peace. But when a stronger than he should come upon him and overcome him, he taketh from him all his armor, wherein he trusted, and divided his spoils. In verse 23, I'm just end this off of this. It said, he that is not with me is against me, And he that gathereth not with me scattereth. And that's Esau. Esau don't scatter out people amongst the nations. They definitely not upholding the laws and promoting the scriptures like that. If anything, they try to ban it. Even when Hakim made these videos, they try to flag your channel or take down your channel, do all type of little stuff. Have you stuff under review. Have people monitoring you. The list goes on. But because of this right here, let me go back to the beginning. Because of this right here, Esau through, man. Got their own people telling on them and exposing them. So it ain't enough for the elect to go through the scriptures and break it down and point them out. Shalom.